Hello, my name is Brandy Van Treese, and this is my oral presentation for Drama 30. I know that the curriculum of this class has been based on Hispanic and Latin history, but after I emailed Mrs. Felino, she said it would be okay that I interviewed my friend Anastasia, who actually grew up in Russia. Her full name is Anastasia Alexandra Bogdanova, and she was born in Russia on October 22nd, 1984. And she actually moved to the United States with her grandmother and her uncle in 1996 when she was 12. I asked her how it was different moving here from there. And she said when she moved to Foster City, they lived in a two-bedroom apartment and that it was actually very luxurious compared to the homes in Russia. She explained that the homes in Russia were very small. They were kind of like projects, and that they only had one bedroom, one bathroom, a living room, and a kitchen. I asked her what else she could remember about her childhood home, and she said that one thing that stood out to her was that most of the homes in Russia always had Persian rugs hanging on their walls. When I asked why, she didn't know. She just thought it was kind of a funny tradition that people hung rugs on their walls. Another thing she said that she remembered from her home was the old TV that they had. She said it was an old box TV with antennas and that it only had a two dial knob with two different channels. And she said majority of the time the channels were very fuzzy and didn't come in very well. So they didn't watch a lot of TV like we do here in the United States. She also explained that when she was a child growing up there, they did not have a lot of valuable possessions like toys and electronics like kids of today do. And that for fun, they would play outside in the snow, they would go to the beach, play tag, sing Russian songs, and read a lot of books. She actually told me that one of her childhood heroes was actually Tom Sawyer because she loved reading his books. She also explained to me that she did gymnastics and dance in Russia and also played the accordion. Um, One of the things she said about Russia is that the schooling was very different. Children, it was very strict for children in Russia going to school. She said that schooling was the education was more advanced, and that the schooling was only from kindergarten through 10th grade. At 10th grade, they graduated, unlike here in the United States, we graduate at 12th grade. I asked how else it was different, and she said that C's and below were not acceptable. It was very strict for the children that they had to wear uniforms. Girls had to wear dresses, boys had to wear button up collared shirt and pants, and that they also wrote with calligraphy pens and ink. And she said if they would smudge their paper with ink, that they would have to start all over. Another thing that she said was values and traditions are completely different here, such as holidays. She said in Russia, Christmas was not celebrated the same way as it is here in the United States with Christmas trees and gifts. Um, she said it was more about their religion, that they would pray a lot and just mainly cook with their families. When I asked what they would cook, she told me that they rarely ever um, went out and ate or used boxed foods, such as like foods with a lot of preservatives. She said everything was fresh, and that one of the main Russian dishes that her and her grandmother enjoyed cooking together was pierogi, which is a pastry stuffed with meat, whether it be beef or turkey or chicken. She said another common traditional family recipe was pelmeni, um, which she said is kind of like a ravioli here in the United States. It would take hours for them to cook, so they did not cook it very often, only on special occasions like major holidays. But they actually made homemade dough and rolled it out and cut it and stuffed it. Um, when I asked her what it was like for her to move to the United States at 12 years of age, because that's a hard age for a young girl, she explained to me it was very, very hard for her, that she knew she knew very little English, and that her grandmother actually sent her to a camp for a few months to help her learn English. Um, she said that coming to school over here as a teenager, it was very hard. Kids bullied her, made fun of her because of the way she dressed and the way she spoke. And that she actually spent many days hiding in the bathroom at lunchtime, which to me was very sad. Now that she's grown up, she does have two children of her own. She is not married, but their names are Alyssa and Maya. When I asked her how she chose those names for her daughters, she said that they are the same name in Russian and American languages and that they are not pronounced differently, and so that's why she chose them. She told me that if there's anything she chooses to leave behind to her children, it is family values, and to not take things for granted like most kids do here in the United States. She still raises her children kind of the same way her grandmother raised her, in a very strict manner, which I think is wonderful. Um, and I To close it up, I asked her if she would ever consider moving back to Russia. She said no, that the United States has now become her home, but that when she was 16, she did go back and visit for a little while, um, and she didn't feel at home there or here. But she does want to take her daughters there one day and just teach them of their heritage. Well, that is my oral presentation, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.